So the team is expanding, hopefully.
I see. So the team is expanding at the moment. Or how many people do you have at the moment in the studio?
Well, at the moment we have seven
Seven.
in-house artists, yeah, and we are just trying to hire another, hopefully two more.
I see. Just a second, I'm checking if we have the audio because people are telling me there is no audio, but there should be an audio.
The team is expanding. Well, I can ask.
Yeah, we have the audio. The audio is working. I apologize, guys.
Yeah.
Something didn't want to work. I apologize to you also, Mark. So one
Okay,
more
we
time, I
just
have to make introduction. One more time because of my crappy audio. So one more time, guys. This is Mark Molnar. I'm making one more introduction.
hello.
I promise this one's gonna be even better. So I apologize for the first one that you didn't hear. So Mark Molnar is a concept artist that worked with some of the amazing names like LucasFilms, Paramount, NBC, Universal, Legendary Pictures, Netflix, and so on. And he is one of the owners of Pixoloid Studio and lead concept artist there. And I think that today you can learn a lot from him because he's gonna talk about his process, sketch for us a little bit, and talk with me. So hi, Mark.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
I apologize for me missing the audio the first time, but you will forgive me, I hope. So I have to ask you one more time the same question because I think people want to know. So how is it going in Pixoloid Studio? How is that business developing? I know that many people want to have their studio, and it's a dream of many artists, and you are doing that. So I think they would like to hear a little bit about that.
Well, as I told earlier, we have ups and downs, but we can't really complain. We have a lot of projects lined up for this year, and we already finished a couple one this year, and working on some TV series now. Actually, 3 TV series. Working on some game cinematics and some illustration works on the side, and some cool doing some concepts for some cool VR projects as well. So everything is great actually.
So you're doing a lot of different stuff in the studio. You're not concentrating only on the movies, but on games, on everything that concept art can do.
Yeah, well, I think these fields are merging more and more into each other. So, or I mean, even architecture or like industrial design has the same or need the same sort of design thinking and design process what we do for games or movies. So it doesn't really matter. Our job is exactly the same, just the outcome is different. And of course, you have to focus on more things if the project turns into production. So it's a bit different if you design like physical sets or if you design virtual sets for a game. But the whole design process, the thinking behind it, and the preparation. So our creative work is pretty much the same, or like 80% is the same.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think that concept art is now merging in any industry. As after all, if you're designing something, it can be used in multiple fields, and I think that that is great because good designers can always find their way in some different areas of design and not to stick only in one. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially now, I mean, like movies starting to use like virtual sets and like filming in a semi AR or VR environment, and in the same time, games. I mean, just the game consoles and the technology and the level of hardware or what you can achieve in a game, the realism is getting really, really close to movies. So everything is sort of like merging. But what is also really exciting is I think we are living in an age where like animation and traditional animation is also coming back.
Yeah.
What is super exciting as well. So
But do you think that I don't think that it ever left. I think that it is always
well,
there, but the industry is smaller for it, right?
yeah, that's true. But it's I think it's coming back to being coming back into the mainstream again, or at least that's what I see. I mean, with channels like Adult Swim or Netflix just the shows what they are producing. It's getting more and more visibility, if you know what I mean. I think that all the studios are still here like for like 20, 30 years, who are producing the amazing 2D animation stuff. Just they didn't get that much visibility before, and now it's getting more popular because Amazon and Netflix and all these providers, all the streaming providers, just need more content. And
I see. So today you want to paint for us, right? We talked about that, and you will paint a little bit and tell us
yeah,
how you do it.
well, I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do, so I probably just start like sketching beside our chat, and that's it.
I see. Nice.
So is the like screen sharing stuff still working?
We are moving it now, and you are on. So
okay. So I'm probably just gonna start with some thumbnail sketch, and let's just go with that. So
I see.
we'll see how it goes.
I think it's gonna get great. So what do you want to do for us today? What are you gonna sketch? Some environment, some concept art for character.
Yeah,
So
probably some kind of more abstract environment sketch, but we'll see how it goes. I have at the moment I have no idea. I just gonna try to come up with cool shapes and stuff.
I see. So it's gonna be a freestyle.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I have a question. And how long ago did you start doing this kind of stuff? What was your history of entering the industry? Did you study art, or you are self-taught?
I went to like the main art or design university here in Budapest, where I was majoring into graphic design and illustration. So I started illustrating there, but my main focus was graphic design back then, and all what I learned about like concept art and this kind of thing was from myself. So I haven't really learned that anywhere. I mean, after spending a bit of time in the industry, I also went to LA for a bit, and to the Concept Design Academy there, and I spent like 3-4 months there at like an evening course. I mean, taking multiple courses, but that was much later.
I see. So you're doing this for a pretty while of time, and I know that you like to do characters from your portfolio. You also like to do environments. Yeah. Where did that come from? Did you always sketch characters when you were younger, or you imagined them? Because I know I did. I never sketched, to be honest, characters. I became industrial designer and products, but I always had characters in my head. Was it like that for you?
Mm. Well, I think I always sketched characters, but what was the most interesting for me is like telling stories with my images. So even when I was a kid, I was so drawing was always an act of play for me. So like so I wasn't. I mean, I was playing with like plastic soldiers and stuff like that, but like drawing stories and playing that way was also a big part of my playtime. So I was drawing like battle scenes and castles and robots and things like that from the age of like, I don't know, 3, 4 or something.
Long time ago.
So, and of course that included like characters, but also the environment. So, and that's still the thing. What excites me the most is like creating complex scenes from a story and telling a story with an image. So I mean, designing characters is, of course, interesting, but I'm also interested in the world, where they live in or what they inhabit. You know,
Hmm.
I'm also interested in their journey and what surrounds them, and not just doing the pure character designs. That's also fun, though.
Yeah, it's amazing. When you started working in the industry, did you have a preference toward any, like for example, I always had a preference towards movies. Was it like that for you, or you always wanted just to design?
Uh, well, I always wanted to work in movies, but that wasn't really realistic when I started out, because I mean, as I mentioned, I'm from Hungary, and back then there wasn't a movie industry here, not even close. Now it's totally different, because we have like three main film or movie production complexes around Budapest. So, I mean, they're coming here to shoot a lot of Hollywood movies. I mean, they shot the Martian here. Uh, they shot the new Blade Runner movie here. So a lot of stuff is happening now. But back when I started out, there wasn't really anything. So
So you went with the flow.
yeah, so basically, I just started to build up my portfolio, and I just went with the flow. I uh, tried to get some freelance work, uh, try to gather as much information as I could from about this whole field. Concept.org just started back then, so that was around like 2003, 4.
2003, 4. That's a long time ago, but really long
Yeah,
time
I'm
ago.
I'm an old fuck.
No,
I
you're
know.
not. You just started really early. For example, I started, for example, in 2007, something like that, to interest in 3D, and that's how I started. And still then, the industry wasn't clarified, and we didn't know what is what. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy how much the industry has been changing in recent years.
yeah, absolutely.
It's changing so much that people don't understand how much it is changing. So, for example, when the younger generations are talking, they are always not understanding how much they have opportunity nowadays, and how little we had in the previous days.
Yeah, absolutely. I still remember that we had basically nothing. So we try. I mean, no online tutorials or
Yeah,
nothing. We basically tried to look at the extras on the DVDs to decipher how this whole thing works.
yeah, that's the thing that I wanted to mention. You remember the GNOME on DVDs?
Oh yeah,
I think everybody remembers GNOME on DVDs. They're like a piece of era of an artist. Like I remember, I had two of them. One was Scott Robertson that my parents bought to me, and the other one was I'm trying to remember which one was it. But the second one was about vehicle design. Ryan Church,
Mm.
but he was doing some kind of environment. It's like you are now doing the environment, and he was doing it. And oh my god, it looks so easy. When I was looking at it, he was like a little bit color here, a little bit this, and I tried to do it, and it looked like a big blob. And it was horrible. It was horrible, but made me realize how much different industry is. So yeah, it's crazy. And what I wanted to ask you is, what are you gonna paint for us today?
Oh, sorry, I just had a call.
By the way, I'm checking here because everybody's telling me that the microphone is too low from my place, and then now that there is echo. I have no idea what's happening, guys. I've been checking everything 3 times. I can't quit the stream now. So is there an echo or only Bjorn hears an echo? Please do tell me. Like,
Well, I don't know. I hear you perfectly, so I don't hear any distortion or anything. I mean, we are connected on Skype, so that's probably different than the stream
yeah,
a
that's true.
bit.
That's true. Let me check it for a second. It look. No, there is no echo, by the way, but okay. I had to check that. I had to let you paint a little bit in a relaxed manner, so so that was a perfect thing for you. I don't hear echo, guys, but if you do, I apologize. I have no idea what's happening. I tested everything 5 times. So you always start the sketches with like that with black and white values, or you tend to go in color.
Well, not really. I prefer more to start in colors. It's just when I do like composition thumbnails, it's easier to just focus on the values, because if I start with colors, I mean, you have to focus on a lot of you have to focus on color composition, and that's sometimes it's too much in the same time. So if I do a composition thumbnail, I just like to
You go step by step.
yeah, I just go step by step. But in my daily like everyday work, it's I usually start straight with colors or with a 3D base or with photo bash. So it's a rare thing that I actually started with a black and white composition sketch, because it's just uh, in a production workflow, it's really hard to like insert the black and white sketch, because the production workflow is much faster, and you don't have time to do black and white sketches actually.
Yeah, I understand you because I know a lot of people today are using Photobash. I'm one of them. Not that I'm a fan of Photobash, to be honest, but as I always say, I like to use it 30%, 70%. I like to be designed. But
Yeah.
industry is so fast, isn't it? And you need to work super, super fast to hit the deadlines and everything.
Well,
How?
actually, it's just about effectivity. So, I mean, if you have to create a photoreal environment, and I mean, if it's about design, that's a totally different thing. Then I would highly, I mean, I wouldn't use photo bash probably if the piece is about design. Then it's much easier to start with designing in 3D, or like modeling, or with sculpt or with ZBrush, or just line work and painting, and then building on top using maybe photo textures on top. But if it's like, for example, a period piece where it has to be really accurate, then it's much easier to and effective to use photo bashing from the beginning.
By the way, you mentioned you use ZBrush. What kind of software do you use in 3D? And the famous question is, did you always like the 3D, or you were one of those people that hated 3D?
Um, I haven't hated 3D, but I still kind of feel awkward a bit about it. But not because I think it's a great tool if for design, for production, for everything. I just feel that a lot of people who are designing in 3D are missing the foundation,
Yeah.
and they just go into the 3D software and just rely on the tools in the 3D software, and and the lack of skills in design, anatomy, composition, proportions are really shining through their designs and 3D work.
Yeah, that's I totally agree about that because every time I'm speaking with people, I know a lot of people are saying that there is so much competition now, and they are right. There is a lot of competition. But however, what people today are missing, everything is so fast that they don't have time to learn foundation. And
Yeah.
foundation is super important. Nothing can look good without it. And a lot of people are doing shiny images on ArtStation that are flashy, 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 but most of them don't have logic behind them or anything. And I know from talk with the art directors and everything that every art director can see that. And there is a lot of people, guys, there. But I think without foundations that Mark is speaking about, you will never become a good designer. And it takes quite a lot of time to master it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
How long did it took you for you to say that you're comfortable with work? I know it took me 5 years to become like comfortable to say, okay, I can produce something that looks okay.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I still feel I'm not there yet, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes I still have like bad days, and
I think we all do, right? I think we all do have horrible days from time to time when the creativity just doesn't want to go
well,
anymore.
I don't. It's really hard to say. I mean, I started pretty slow, I think, because of the lack of information and everything, and I didn't have any like concept art course. So I would probably say it took me around like 6 years, 8 years to get like confident
Yeah,
in what I'm doing, but or at least confident in seeing what I don't know, because it's always hard to judge your own work.
of
So
course, of course. It's. I think it's one of the best characteristics the designer can have is to judge himself. But it's also hard life when you're judging yourself all the time. And person needs to
yeah,
balance that, but the best designers, they judge everything about themselves and they always have something to say. Similar, I compare it similarly to parents, like so you have to be a parent to your work.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. They are still. I mean, there are works what I'm still proud of after years. It's just the problem is that I only see the faults in like almost every work I do when I go back to it.
Yeah,
But I learned to let them go, and I think that's also important to. I mean, move forward and move to other things and not necessarily stuck in.
yeah, I understand because there is always the more you progress, the more mistakes you see on your previous work, and you are always
Yeah,
this can
exactly.
be improved, this can be improved, and yeah, it's the way it is, guys. By the way,
I,
guys,
I'm not sure who said that, but it's like there are two things what you develop. So what is developing first is your site. So you see more designs, and you're seeing your brain improves, and then you see more faults in your works, and then your talent or your skills are catching up,
yeah.
and then that surpasses your sight. So, and that's when you think, okay, I'm pretty cool, but then your sight catches up again, and then you start seeing your faults, and it's like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
this
that's
developing
completely true.
curve.
It's completely true. It's complete. I totally agree because yeah, it's always that brain eye hand coordination. It's there. Three of them are like working all the time, and one improving, other one staying, one improving, other one staying, catching up, and so on. Yeah, I completely agree on that. But I also think that your aesthetics change in what you like. Also, the society changes. I mean, so many things.
Yeah.
Uh, By the way, guys, thank you all for coming. I see there is a lot of you today. Your love, Mark, as I can see. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will try and read through all of them and ask to Mark. By the way, hi Bjorn. Thank you for telling me about the microphone. And I see you're putting some color there. It's orange, blue, bluish sky.
Yeah, just pretty random at the moment. Just trying to bring in some colors because I mean, I'm doing it for like 20 minutes, so or 15, 20 minutes. So I thought it's would be cool to introduce.
Yeah, no worries. This is just for fun. Speed paint, how much you can do is how much. No worries. How? Yeah, I know it's a big pressure for anybody who draws and speaks at the same time. I remember when I started doing it, I realized how hard it was, and I was like, oh my god, like your brain gets stuck in two momentums, and you don't know which one you should take.
Yeah, basically what I'm trying is just blocking in some random weird colors, and then I can just adjust it to
To something fresh. Do you have a
something more fresh. Yeah.
do you have some magic brush? Because I know people are always asking about it.
The magic brush.
Yeah, the magic brush made with the blood of a virgin and octopus and a sword Excalibur and I don't know God what. But is there
How
any?
did you
What?
how did you know that?
Because I have it. Misa from Game of Thrones.
Hmm.
But
I have a pretty big brush set what I collected during the years.
yeah, I saw that.
So and it looks like that.
Ooh, huge.
But to be honest, I'm using. I mean, probably the first. I mean, the first like 5 or 8, 10 brushes the most. I mean, probably this one, and all the rest are like more specific stuff. So like for texturing and for clouds and for grass and whatever or foliage. So those are more like specific stuff. So if I would just paint, then I would probably use like these, and these are like super basic brushes, like the main brown brush without any pressure sensitivity. And
Don't say
so,
that. Say that you have a magical brush, so we finish with this. So people don't ask.
and of course there is this magical brush what I never gonna share.
Yeah. There is a lot of really brushes. I don't have that many. I have quite a lot of brushes, but I use 3 as usual. And I like that all the artists at the end, we all try to get some brush, but at the end, we all return to the basic ones. And yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You always move back to the like really basic ones because those are the most like the simplest ones are the most effective ones usually.
Yeah, they are. They are. Because it's not about the tool, it's about the designer. That's how I like to say it. Because I see some designers they do with the cardboard and paper with a
Yeah,
pen some
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah, Kim Jong, for example, simple pen and a big
Mm.
white paper, and he is drawing spaceships, anything, and literally that you're looking like, and you're like, what the hell is going on? I saw him in THU, and I was like blown away. Are you speaking about festivals? Are you going anywhere this year? You gonna lecture anywhere or participate, join?
Uh, Actually, we will see. I mean, we will be at Lightbox Expo in Los Angeles later this year. That's gonna be in early September. So we're gonna have a booth there with
Nice.
with the studio, and we are just in the discussion of going to IFCC,
Okay.
but I probably won't be there because it's just a really messy period for me.
I see.
But 2 of the guys probably going down, and because there's an art book uh, coming out from our studio, and we are just trying to put together something like so that would be like the first uh, presentation of the art book, or I'm
Like
not
a
sure.
like
Say
a
like a book signing.
like a portfolio for your company. I like art
Yeah,
books.
it's like a portfolio art book.
How big is the art book? How many pages? Tell me more. I want to know about that. I really
Well,
like books.
well, it's nearly 300 pages. So we planned it for around 200, but it went up pretty quickly because
That's a lot of pages. That's a lot of pages.
we wanted to, because we also included some step by step and some process pages, and we also got fortunately, we also got permission to show more work, like for example, from The Alienist. We got permission in the very last minute from Paramount and from National Geographic to show some more real life projects and not just illustrations. So
Yeah.
and we teamed up with the publishers of Kim Jung-ji, so it's coming out from the same.
Is Jean-Christophe the publisher?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's Jean-Christophe. Yeah, I think you're also doing your book with them with the.
We spoke on THU. Jean was super fun, and I spoke with Spiridon. And
Spiridon and also Jean is super nice guys. So.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people wanting to work with him or worked, and I was like, this is the guy then. But my main man for the book is Spiridon, then everybody else. So I took Spiridon, and then we will see. I have to have a Greek in my life. So yeah, but that's a smart move to make a art book and present yourself in that manner.
Well, what happened actually is I mean, we never really thought about doing an art book. Of course, we were thinking about it because, like, what we're doing is basically we are doing an art book after each big project what we create. So we're sort of summarizing the project and putting together an art book just for ourselves. And it's also a good way to present our artworks to like production designers. What we have done is we picked 3 of these art books, and we were at CTN in Los Angeles just last year, where is an animation expo, and these books were there, and people started to ask us, "Oh, where can I buy this? This is awesome!"
Nice.
And that's when we started to think, okay, well, why not? If people are interested in it, why not try to come up with something? And I've already met Jean-Christophe about my old art book, and so we started to talk about bringing this together and making it to reality. And now we are sending it to the printer like tomorrow. So now everything is finished, and so
you're doing it tomorrow, or?
Yeah, we are actually just got back to the very last version from the proofreader.
Yeah.
So we are just fixing and got back the color proofs.
Amazing! Congrats on that. So tomorrow is a very special day.
So the color proofs are. I can actually show the color proofs.
You can. We would like to see that.
Yeah. Someone just passing this.
Just a second.
So you won't see much. They are.
Here it is, guys. Look at the first prints. Amazing. On which paper is it printed? You said. How many grams is that paper? Is it?
I think I'm not sure. 180 probably.
Nice.
I'm not sure because these are just color proofs and not like the final paper, but it's pretty close.
Nice. Can you show us one more time? I enlarge you so they can see.
Well, this is just like a half page, so it's gonna be A4 size, the book.
Look at the perfection, guys.
The portrait A4 size. I can also show the cover.
Yeah, it's A4.
Rika, can you pass me the cover?
Bjorn is saying that he likes it.
Well, that's the actual size of the book.
Whoa, look at the size, guys. Huge. So it's gonna be, that's 2 pages of A4 connected together.
Yeah, exactly. So it's A4 portrait.
That's the front page, right? And the back page.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. This is the cover.
Nice, guys. Start ordering now. And then order Inside 44 after it. Nice, man.
So it's getting really exciting, actually.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like that kind of rush of the energy when you finish something. I know that feeling. I can only imagine how good you feel now about it. So yeah, good to know. Good to know, man. I'm super happy that you finished it because it's really. Was it hard for you to finish something like that? Because I know a lot of people want to do that kind of project, but when they start, they back away. Was it hard for you to manage everything? Talking with Jean
Well,
Christophe, talking with
uh,
Lightbox, and all.
I mean, it was a huge teamwork, but also uh, the good thing was that we already had about, let's say, 70% of the content, and we only had to produce like 30%. But even then, we had to put in a lot of work, especially the girls who are putting together the book. Uh, so we started working on it in December, I think. So it was like 5 months of work just putting it together.
5 months of work of putting it together. Well, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a lot of time. I mean, I know from my experience now that I'm finishing Inside 44. Jesus
I mean,
Christ, how much
yeah,
it takes. Jesus Christ, how much pain it takes and everything. And I'm like, everybody who wants to do it, guys, but prepare yourself for a torture, literally. It's 10 times harder than client work. It's taxing on your body, mind, and soul, and everything.
yeah, that's true. I mean,
Because it's personal. It's personal. You're not working for a client who's gonna come and say, "Okay, I don't like this. We can change it, and we will change it. It's not a problem." You're working for yourself, and you're fighting with the time and fighting with yourself. Is it good or is it bad? And your main public is Instagram, Facebook, so it's crazy.
yeah, and beside that, we are also working on our own IP as a studio. So that's also going to be exciting. So this book is more about like summarizing our client work, or at least part of it, because we are not allowed to talk or publish a lot of stuff we have done in the past 2 3 years, unfortunately.
So
Uh,
you can't talk very much about IP, but I have to ask some questions now when you mention it. Uh, if you allow me, of course.
well, I can talk a couple of projects what we worked on, but we are not allowed to show anything.
Okay.
So we have so we worked on Love, Death and Robots, for
Nice.
example, together with DIGIC Pictures. So you remember the Secret War shorts?
Yeah.
So we have done basically all the concepts for that. So creature designs, color scripts, basically everything. But
Everything.
we
Yeah.
but we can't show anything yet.
When will you be
Uh,
able to show it? That's one of the things working with a big client. You have to wait 1 2 years to publish it.
yeah.
I know from my experience. It
Well, it's also because of I think it's because of Netflix, because they are I think they have a really strict marketing strategy
yeah.
for Love, Death and Robots. So they control everything, what you can publish and what you cannot, and what you can say, etc.
Yeah.
So
That series, Love, Death and Robots, I'm always it looks really good, and so many people worked on it.
no, I mean, I think it turned out great. I mean, all the shorts were super amazing,
Yeah,
and I'm really super proud that we
you should
could have
be.
been part of it.
You should be because it's a really big project and it's something different than you. And I always like different kind of endeavors and different ideas. They always pump me up because it's like making a history, right?
Yeah, so it's great. And then we also worked on a lot of game cinematics, what I'm not allowed to talk about, unfortunately. And we what I'm allowed to say is we worked on the latest Rainbow Six cinematic what came out.
Oh, nice. The buffed guy with droids fighting and everything, right? The bearded guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Nemanja Stankovic, a guy from concept art. He's the same as him. I sent him video and I was like, this is you, Nemanja. That looks awesome, man. I really love the style. It's new and it's
Yeah,
fresh.
I mean, DIGIC did a great job. So we did all the concepts for that, all the like keyframes, designed all the environments, all the props, and everything. That was really exciting because we not just had to design the actual spaces, but we even had to design like the posters on the walls in the pub and everything. I mean, we did each posters and each like photos and even the small cards, what you put below the beer,
Yeah,
even those. So
everything to the
that
single
was fun.
detail. Yeah, I know. When you are working on a project, there is always that big things that everybody needs to design, but there are also those small things. And I always have a massive respect to everybody who does small things because they're super important. They give that special feeling.
Yeah,
Like in a design, that details when you start putting them, it's the same. That final touches are always the most important ones.
yeah. I mean, the good thing was that we designed, I mean, the big thing, and then we could go into the really small details. So starting like big wide views and going into like the small stuff and really finessing them out. And that was great if you can uh, control something visually to that level. So that was great, and it was great that actually Digi really believed in our work and let us do what we can. So big thumbs up for the art director on the project.
Yeah. They are you in the same city as DIGIC?
Yeah,
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 they
yeah,
were
yeah.
here in Belgrade. They had a presentation. I met one of the owners, and
Okay.
it was super nice. I just remember that I should send him a portfolio. Yeah. Uh, by the way, what I wanted to ask you now, when we are speaking about studios and everything, where did the name Pixoloid come from?
Well, it's a funny story. We started to come up with weird names with Gaspar, the other founder,
Yeah.
and basically we wanted Pixoloid, but that domain name was taken. So we just thought, okay, let's just do Pixoloid.
Modern era, right? Modern era problems. Whatever you think of, it's already taken. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's Pixoloid is it's a VFX company in India, so it's even in the same field. So we didn't want to
Yeah.
like
When I was looking for you and for your
mix
company,
it
I
up.
found them. When I was looking
Oh
for,
yeah.
yeah, I found them, and I was like opening, and I was like, this is not Mark. This is all of these guys are Indians. Where is Mark? And I was looking for your photo. Then I realized it's not the same company. So I was like, oh my god, there is one more. By the way, speaking about that, and guys, the industry is, I mean, everybody knows this, but everything's not just our industry, but the whole world is so saturated with names. DarMar, I started using it in 2006. I never put a trademark on it or anything. There is no reason to do it. But since then, there has been a restaurant next to a place where I live, kindergarten next to a place where I live, DarMar. Clothing goods, and they're all like in the area where I live, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? And latest thing that I saw was rubber bands named DarMar. And I was, and then 4 years ago there was a talk show that started Dar and Mar, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is a good name. This is a good name when everybody is using it. I'm gonna keep it. So it's crazy, man, right? Keeping that
Yeah, you never know.
famous.
But I think it's weird because I mean, first it's people, it's hard to remember. I mean, we felt it's a hard name to remember for people. But then we realized if you remember it like once, then you're always gonna remember it. So it's also a good thing.
Yeah. The good name. It requires the branding strategy, right? The branding strategy and how you're gonna position yourself, because it's not anymore just about the name. It's about how do you position yourself. Who are you?
Yeah, well, I mean, we never really thought about that when we started, but now it's probably important. So I'm I would probably choose a different name if I would start again. But now, I mean, it's just stuck. I mean, we like this name, and it's our company. So
Yeah, you're starting to feel connected to it.
yeah, absolutely.
By the way, I like what I'm seeing on your screen. The thing that it starts to look like Prince of Persia a little bit to me. It is environment Prince of Persia. Are you gonna make buildings from that in the behind, or is it gonna stay mountains?
Um, I'm not sure. See, I'm just on autopilot, to be honest. So I'm just
Whatever happens.
so whatever happens, I'm just more like focusing on talking with you. But actually, doing buildings is not such a bad idea. So yeah, why not do some buildings?
Nice. Is there a magical brush that you have for buildings? I see you're picking some.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. It's normal. Uh, what is your favorite color, by the way? I know many artists. I started asking them that, and I never had that idea in my head. But because I have problems with colors, I can do technical stuff, but when it comes to this kind of stuff that you are doing, no way, it's not gonna happen. Is there any favorite color that you like and that you use on your art that you like to implement?
No, not
No.
really.
Okay, this question failed, guys. So bad. Now it looks like Mordor. You know how it has that tower?
Mm.
Yeah, maybe it should have some green on it. Yeah, and the crystals like. Also, what are your plans with the studio and everything in next years? Are you gonna expand even more? Do you plan on making something?
That's one plan, and we also, as I said earlier, we are also preparing our to launch our own IP.
Yeah.
What is really, what is going to be really exciting because we tried to, we started a few IPs ourselves, but they always like failed somehow because they didn't have enough energy. I think. I mean,
Yeah.
in the downtimes, we always started to work on like something just for ourselves, but they never really got anywhere. We did a few concepts, and then they just ended in the drawer. So
They just stopped in a drawer. You didn't.
yeah, they just sort of stopped. So
Did you
we didn't
pitch
pursue
them?
it any longer. But this one we started at, and it escalated pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
we got to the stage where we are planning to launch a Kickstarter campaign later this year
Nice.
for it, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, you know, if people are interested in it, then good. If then we can push it further, but if not, we can just leave it. And it was a nice experiment, or we'll see how it goes. I mean, we have. I don't want to give up too much, but we have done most of the like sort of pre-production phase on it. So we have most of the design, like about 90%, and now we still have work on the story and do the actual production to present it the way we want to present it.
I see. The things that you worked on and you worked on those previous IPs. What was the reason for getting in the draw with it? You even tried to pitch them, or you just stopped at some point? There was no pitching or anything. You just
There wasn't any pitching because I mean, you know, when you sort of feel when a project or a story has enough potential. I'm pretty sure it was the same for you. You had this idea and inside 44, and then when it started to move, it just started to like come together. Okay, there are always like difficulties when you develop a project, but you never really ask yourself that is it worth pursuing, or I mean, it was evident that you have to keep moving forward with it, right?
yeah. I made myself. That was one of the things that I learned early about myself as a character. I had to post it on Facebook that I'm gonna do it and torture people because listen, it's very important for me because I knew that if I don't know it, I will make myself look incompetent, and I will look myself look bad, and then I will be like just talking about it. So it was like a push in my back, like a wind in my back, that I have to make it look good so other people uh, feel the vibe and everything. And
Hmm.
if I have them on my back, I need to be running faster because when I was even younger, when I was doing sports, I had to have the ball in my legs or somebody running behind me to run faster. And I learned that really early. So yeah, that was the reason why I kept posting it on Facebook, and that's what kept me going because somebody's running me behind my back. I don't want to disappoint anybody, and that's how I looked at it.
Okay. Well, it was a bit different for us because, like, we had some story in mind, and we also met some writers to develop that story, but just there wasn't like a good flow with the whole project, so it just sort of stopped. It was laggy. It wasn't really moving forward, and then we just left it. But with this one, what we started, even with in the first like few brainstorming sessions, it went really great, and everything is started to come to place pretty early. So
Yeah,
yeah, so we just move forward with it, and I think it's going to be great.
I'm sure it's gonna be great. I'm just wondering what it is. I'm thinking all the time what it is, and I see you draw a little person there. He's
well,
looking.
it's gonna be totally different than our previous stuff. Um, so we are just started to post some bits and pieces from it as a teaser
Yeah,
on our social media. So if you follow our social media, you're gonna see more and more stuff from it during the next couple of months, and we really hope to launch the Kickstarter in somewhere in. Well, I don't want to say September because that was the original goal, but we probably won't be able to make it by then.
same story here. I
But
wanted to do
hopefully,
it in
but hope, but
September.
hopefully this year.
Same thing. I wanted to do it in September, but I'm realizing it's impossible. So I will have to wait for you to publish it. Then I will after you publish it. By the way, speaking about Kickstarter, I'm super happy that you're mentioning it. You're the first guest that I'm gonna talk about it with you. Did you have any special way that you approached the Kickstarter? Were there any outsourcing people that you contacted to help you with the Kickstarter? How was that thing going?
uh, I'm not sure what you mean.
Did you have external somebody to come and explain you how to use the Kickstarter, some person that knows how to make the Kickstarter work, or you're gonna do it by yourself?
Well, not yet, but I mean, we have done two sort of. I have done one crowdfunding campaign
Okay.
myself for my book Behind the Pixels, and it was like 3 4 years ago, and and we have done a pre-order campaign for our studio art book, what we learned a lot from. So we have a bit of experience, but we definitely gonna need some help. So we are uh, trying to gather
Trying
people
to
and
get.
ask advice from people who are much more in it, because that became a huge thing. I mean, crowdfunding. So you definitely need some experts to give you at least some suggestions, because if you're not doing that, you're just wasting your time and money, what you're putting into your project. Or
Yeah,
at least that's what I feel.
it's scary, right? It's a little bit scary because you need to do that, and once the Kickstarter comes, you don't know where it will go. Because for me, it's something new. You already had one campaign, but I can only imagine that thrill when you are working on something and when you post it, and the fear and all the emotions that it gets. It must be super scary, right?
Yeah. And especially because I mean, it has so many factors. I mean, so many things can go wrong. So even if the project is awesome, if it's not get picked up by the crowd or by quick Kickstarter, then you're basically fucked.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those things. And but also there is a lot of stuff that can go good, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Was it a really good? It was once you did the marketing and everything, and the Kickstarter was successful. Uh, how did you feel after that? Were there any advantages that you got from the Kickstarter for exposure, for work, for anything? What was your experience with that?
Uh, I got really fed up with social media after that. That was the main thing. What happened, to be honest, because I was focusing on the campaigns. And I mean, I'm talking about the behind the pixels book back then.
Yeah.
So not the Pixoloid one.
Now
We,
you're
lear- we, lear-
recovered.
we learned a lot from the Pixoloid one. So I think that was a great experience.
Yeah.
Just to how to handle like social media advertising and what you can benefit from and what not, who to approach, what people would be interested in or stuff. So I think that was a great experience. But before that, with my own book, I got really fed up because I was the one doing the whole campaign. I was doing live streaming videos. I was so I was doing everything, and it was
Yeah.
just too much.
Overwhelming, right?
Yeah, I mean, really overwhelming, and I really felt I mean, I had enough. So I think I went off from social media for a couple of months. I haven't really posted or anything after that because I don't know. I felt I also felt it's not 100%ly me because I'm not really the person who's always like pushing his stuff to everyone's face. But with the campaign, I just had to do it if I wanted the campaign to be successful.
Yeah.
And it was a really strange experience.
It's the other side of the business, right? It's other side of the business, and I know when I'm doing because I'm constantly trying to promote everything, and there are days, 2 days in a week, to be honest, where I'm like, I just can't anymore look at the screen and post on social media because it's like I have 4 jobs, not just one, right?
Yeah.
It burns you out. You're always answering. You're doing this. You're doing that. By the way, we have a question.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Hi, Laszlo. Laszlo Ede, if I'm pronouncing it good. If no, I apologize. But he's asking, I have heard that you are about to hire concept artists to your team. What are you
Yeah.
looking for in a concept art portfolio? Any skills, pieces, or a style?
Uh, at the moment, we are looking for a really versatile artist because we have a lot of different projects going on. So the ideal artist would have to dip into not just environment concept design, but also character design, illustration, a bit of storyboarding. I know it's a lot to ask, uh, but yeah, that's so versatility and probably reliability.
Okay.
So in terms of reliability, I mean he or she can produce on the same level or always on the same level because usually in the projects we have daily deliveries and we cannot afford to not not deliver that day or not give our clients that artwork or the art director or the production designer what they expect that day.
Yeah,
So reliability is a big factor.
I see. So reliability, when we are speaking about it, since you mentioned it now, and from that, I have you had some experiences with artists who weren't reliable? Because I did. I'm honestly speaking now. I had a lot of artists that I worked with and they were super unreliable. Have you had that kind of experiences? And that's why you are mentioning the reliability.
Uh, yeah, but it's. I mean, it's just. I know it's hard because I mean, all of us have good and bad days, you know.
Yeah.
But they're just we just can't afford to have an artist producing a really good work in one day and a really shitty one the next day, because if he or she produces a really shitty work, another artist have to stay overtime to actually do his or her work again to be able to deliver to the client at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And we just can't we just simply can't afford that.
It's
So
yeah.
So I think it's a consistent level of quality. I'm not saying we are looking for like a super developed artist, because we are looking for a junior and a mid-level artist now, and of course the new artist has to adapt to the team's workflow and to the projects and everything, and that takes time. So, and we know that, but. So what we're looking for more is like consistency in the portfolio and a variety of genres and topics. Not necessarily styles, because we also always have to adapt to the project style a bit. Although we usually do like realistic work for films and games. So that's our main thing. So that's what we do, like in 80% of the cases, and like 20% is a bit more stylized illustration.
I see. And tell me, do you require for your artist to learn 3D, or he can work in only 2D? What kind of situation is about that in your studio?
Well, 3D is definitely a plus, but it's not a requirement. So we are working with 3D packages, but so me myself, I'm not super good in 3D. So I can work a tiny bit in Modo, a tiny bit in SketchUp. Uh, I I can I'm not saying I'm a good sculptor, but I can do concept sculpts what I need for the base of the concepts. So I work in ZBrush, and but I'm spending 90% of my time in Photoshop. So painting and drawing skills are the key, and not the 3D. We have guys who are much better in 3D, and they use more 3D in their workflow. But it really depends on the projects. It not necessarily it's not a necessity, but it's a definite plus if you are good in with 3D.
So you have separated 2D and 3D in your studio. They are separate fields.
Well, not really. The two, just we have 2D concept artists who can also work in 3D,
Yeah.
and some and we literally all of us are using different 3D packages. So I'm using Modo. One of the guys using Blender. Another guy's using 3D Code. I'm using ZBrush. Uh, we use Octane. We use Keyshot. Or other art director Gaspar uses SketchUp. So I mean,
Everything, everything.
it's basically everything, and what the project requires. Usually, uh, who is available and who is the best for that certain task 3D task, handles that one, and then he passes on to the same files or the renders to another guy. Sometimes one guy does the 3D modeling, and like I'm doing the renders, and the third guy doing the paint overs and stuff. So we always like bounce the different tasks between each other.
Yeah, there has to be a teamwork, right? And if there is no teamwork, there is no studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of artists, that they want to be solo and work only by themselves. I don't think that's possible in the studio. So you hear it, guys. You have to be a team player to work in Blender or SketchUp or ZBrush or Keyshape.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Just you need to.
It doesn't really matter. And don't be an asshole. I think that's the most important part.
Yeah.
Because usually I think that's like at least 50% of the work, that the personality, your personal parts, and the other 50% is your work. Because if I mean, you just have to be a cool guy, and that's it.
Speaking about hiring, I have two questions. But first one
Yeah.
is, are you hiring outsourced artists or remote ones or just in-house? How is the situation at the moment?
Well, at the moment, we also work with project-specific freelancers from time to time.
Yeah.
But at this very moment, we only hire from in-house, because the projects what we hire for are require the team to just be present, and especially because of the daily deliveries, it's really hard to do that with a freelancer on a junior or mid-level. So you can do that with a senior artist or who has a lot of experience, because then you know he has experience working in a production, he has experience to deliver on time,
Yeah.
every day. But I think it's really hard to do that with a junior artist. It's basically you have to earn that trust. But we do work with project specific freelancers. We have a big list of portfolios of artists who we are working with from time to time, and so yeah. But at this very moment, we are looking for in-house people, and unfortunately, these positions are only for residents of Hungary at the moment.
Mhm.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, but not sorry. I'm joking. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's the way it
No,
is.
I'm just saying this because we are receiving a lot of portfolios from outside, and it's simply because we need somebody really fast, and to sort out just the work visa in the EU, and even in Hungary, sort out the work visa and just sort out the relocation, the flat, and everything is just.
Too much.
It's just too much
Yeah.
hassle at the moment. We are hoping that this is gonna change, but not at this moment.
Damn, that visa is making problems for everybody. I wish that the world was one.
Oh man, I heard that. I mean, I remember that your visa problem with the zebra summit, that was a
Yeah.
big fuck up.
Yeah.
How did you felt? I mean, after that, I mean, it's just crazy.
I felt like I wanted to kill myself, but I didn't. That was a good thing. But I was super depressed, man. I was like, I was even thinking, should I post it? Should I not post it? And it's just the way it is, you know. Many people don't understand that who don't live here. They're like, I'm traveling everywhere I want. What the hell is this guy talking about? But it was devastating. Like, I wanted to go there. I told them I'm coming. We are preparing everything for months, and I come there, and the lady's like, "You are not passing the border," and I'm like, "Why?" And she's like,
What was the reason?
"Well, the problem with the we can talk about this forever, but I will give concrete short answers. Serbians, once they leave the country and go to USA, most of them stay legally there, and
Okay.
that's the problem because they are always expecting that you will stay there. And I'm in the perfect age where the most people stay there, between 25 and 40. They stay there.
Okay, I got it.
That's one of the reasons. Other blah blah blah. If I was a university studying third year, have my car, have my the main thing is I had only the university and I was studying, I would have a reason to come back, and they would let me pass.
Okay.
They would let me pass. But like this, they were like the lady.
Okay, so they actually think you're gonna stay there.
Yeah, the lady. You wouldn't believe the lady found me on Google, and she typed my name, and it came out, and she was like, "So you're going to LA, where the industry is for what you do, and I see that you are all over the internet with your name and works, and you think that I don't know you will stay there. And I was like, if there is any piece of paper that I can sign, I will sign it that I will come back. And you can arrest me. And she was like, it doesn't work like that. I understand her. I mean, it was sad for me.
I
but
mean, it's not her fault, but still, it's just crazy.
yeah, it's the way it is. Thanks God I can move through Europe. For 90 days I can move to Europe, so that's one good thing. And Asia, yeah. So that's a good thing. But yeah, by the way, guys, we are finishing in 5 minutes. Mark has been today amazing.
Oh,
He
yeah?
tells us a lot. Yeah, we are already 1 hour and 10 minutes, 15 actually. We are 1 hour and 15 minutes, so 1 hour and 30 I think we can finish. But
No,
Mark,
I just started to get into the painting, actually.
oh my God, I'm destroying the mood. Again, the DarMar making problems. Yeah, but it's looking already awesome. He's on some kind of field of flowers, I see.
Yeah,
It's looking awesome.
it's a pretty romantic image, actually.
It is. It is. That's what I wanted to say.
I don't know what's happened, man.
You got
Maybe
inspiration.
they are like bunnies
Oh,
in the fields of flowers, and they are.
But can it be some
Here
menacing bunnies?
are the bunny ears.
Can it? But there can be one that you see his teeth, and he has scary big teeth that you will eat. Oh my God, this is so cool. How did we come to the bunnies at the end?
I don't know.
Oh my, I like this image a lot. The colors are very vibrant. That's the way I like. Also the bunnies.
It's probably because we are working. I mean, mostly I've done like in the past couple of days we have done storyboarding, and we worked on the new season of The Alienist, what is really like
Yeah.
at the end of the 1800s in New York, and everything is like really muted and like kept in a certain muted palette of color. So maybe that's why I just had to create something colorful.
It's the way it is, right? Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them because we are finishing in 5. Also, if you have time, hit the subscribe button and join the DarMar podcast stream. In the meantime, I can ask Mark a couple of more stuff before we finish. And again, if you have any question, feel free to post it. This palette, now you're talking, it looks romantic, and yeah, it does really look romantic. Where do you get your inspiration from? I haven't asked you that, and I think that's very important for people to know. Where do you get the inspiration from?
Everywhere. I mean, probably the same as any other people. Like I read books, I watch movies. Nothing really special. So.
Is there, for example, for me, I like the cars a lot. I like machinery, how it
Mhm.
works. I like to look at it and watch it. I like, especially like the mechanical arms and stuff like that. Functional hard surface. That's what I like to see.
Mhm.
Is there anything that made you develop during your development, your style in those 6 years when you were developing yourself that were critical? Was there anything special that you looked at and you were like, okay, I want to go and design something like this, sketch something like this, maybe old masters?
Yeah, I mean, I try to be honest. I try even now. I try to avoid like going on ArtStation. Okay, I check out portfolios and stuff, but I try to look for like classical painters and more like photography and contemporary artists and like fine art painters, and not necessarily like concept art, because I mean, I do concept art, if I look concept art for reference, then I would probably create something very similar than the other guy. So why should I look that? And I'm also just like simply just interested in other fields of art. I'm really interested in contemporary architecture. I'm really interested in contemporary like dance stuff and contemporary painting. Contemporary sculpture, and so more like that.
Do you visit museums a lot?
Well, I used to. Now it's now it's not that frequent because I have a 20-month-old kid, so
Yeah.
and it's much harder to get to anywhere. But he's coming to an age where we can bring him to museums, and so we can go together. So yeah.
Perfect. You can introduce him to art immediately.
That's the plan.
Oh, you have a plan making minions work for you. That would be my plan, but okay. Nice.
Okay, I think I just finished this one.
I
So
like it a lot.
I call this done.
I especially like this piece where the person is standing. I think if you crop that and make it a separate piece, it would be a story for itself. It's beautiful. With the evil Xylot bunnies. So yeah, we are then done for today, guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mark.
thanks for having me, man.
Thank you so much for coming. I really enjoyed this conversation. I will bring you again, for of course, because
Sure.
maybe we can paint. Maybe we can finish with the bunny, and you design the bunny how it's gonna look. So
Yeah, definitely. And maybe we can jump online when the book came out, and I can give you a flip through with the book and stuff like that.
we have a deal. We're gonna do it like that. Excellent. I like how you think. We're gonna do it like that. So guys, one more time, I'm super happy that I had Mark here. His book is coming out with the studio. Check his work. And the book we said around September, right? But actually around November. When is it coming out?
No. That's the second book. The book is coming out in a month, I think.
Ah, okay, in a month.
Hopefully it's going to be available on IFCC, but shipping starts in a hopefully in 2-3 weeks.
Perfect then. Then we in 1 month, guys. Check his book, buy it, and enjoy because it's gonna have a lot of cool stuff. Thank you one more time for coming, Mark.
Okay, bye.
Bye.